let's get this out of the way. So where I DJ'd was not just in the hip hop scene, but the gay leather scene, right? And
Wow.
well, I'm sexy. I'm a dime piece. I'm just telling you. Like I'm just telling you, if you're in West Hollywood and you're a little bit chubby and hairy, you're not paying for coffee. You know what I mean? You're doing well, right? So in the leather scene, if you go to leather bars, it, it, you know, it's about one thing. It's just about, you know, it's just an open sex club. That's all it is, right? And guys come in and out. And me being a DJ in the hip hop scene and the gay scene, you would see people come in and out, right? But it became clear to me when P Diddy started um, connecting with DJ Hell, and I sent you the cover of that record. If you look in
Is
there,
that in? Is it in the Twitter history?
yeah, look it up.
All right.
If you see the cover, it's the two guys. Okay.
Yep. Let me find this. Featuring P Diddy. Hell, featuring P Diddy. Yes.
Okay. Why don't you put that up?
All right. Let me see if I can extract that. 1 second. Don't want to. Yeah, got that. All right. Share this tab.
Okay.
Let's see. Share this tab. Right. Does that come up? Oh, it's down here. There we go. So if we make that bigger. Control plus. Whoops.
All right.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is the backstory here, my friend?
I mean, it's laid out for you. I mean, it's laid out for you. I mean, and I talked to my friend Mikey. Remember Mikey? And
Yes.
Mikey, I just talked to him like an hour ago, and he goes, oh my God, I remember. He goes, oh, I remember. So when that track dropped, and it's a great house track, it's just basically P Diddy, talking about, I want to let these tracks marinate or whatever, and it's a great house track. But DJ Hell is one of my favorite DJs. I love him. He's very prolific in the leather scene, right?
Yep.
You're not, you know what I mean? That kind of collab, you know what's going on. I mean, I saw it at the club. It's just like, it is what it is. But I think that, I mean, look, does anyone believe that Queen Latifah is straight?
Are you asking the chat?
I'm asking you. I mean, do you think that, does anybody believe that Queen Latifah's straight?
All right, chat. So if you think Queen Latifah is straight, put a 1 in the chat. If you think Queen Latifah is not straight, put a 2 in the chat.
Okay. And then we can go down the list. But, I
They're all
think
saying no. They're all saying no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why put on, again, why in hip hop, and I've been in the hip hop scene since the early 80s. Why put up this front? And I think it just needs to be more accepted in the hip hop scene to be gay. And I'm not, listen to me, I by no means am I kink shaming anybody, or I'm actually, very pro gay. I play in the gay bars and I see stuff. I don't, I just think that, um, I just think that if it would be out more, it would be more accepted. I mean, I've seen stuff like Joe Budden came out as gay. I saw, I've seen, there was a night that I did called Velvet Glock, where I saw Busta Rhymes out there. I mean, I don't, and these aren't the kind of gay bars that like where you get mixed crowds. These are people that are like, if they're going there for a reason. You know what I mean?
So what was that about Busta Rhymes?
I mean, it's all coming out now. I mean, it's like, but I just, here's one of those things. I mean, I think I sent you a link to that. But P Diddy would frequent these clubs all the time. I mean, it wasn't like anything new, you know. And he had tracks with people in the scene. It wasn't like But I mean, people would say it's a collab. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying to you that, like, I think it would be. I mean, I sent you that stuff about Africa Bambaataa, right?
Yep.
It's another one of those things, like there's a lot of this stuff, especially in the DJ world, that we see, the stuff that came out about Bass Nectar. I mean, it's just there needs to be a more of an accountability to what happens. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
So one of the things that's confounding people is you've got these generations of young people who've been raised on these macho rappers, but now it's coming out that the backstories are all BS and they're the complete opposite.
Dude, you take 5 guys from the 5th Ward, okay, and call them the Hot Boys. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I take their shirts off and call them the Hot Boys. I mean, if you've been on a Lil Wayne tour, which I have, I mean, look, in West Hollywood, this is the other thing that I learned too, that there were a lot of like, what are they? Basically, transsexual,
Yeah.
right. And anyone in the gay scene will tell you that they are for straight guys, 100%. And you saw a lot of that in the hip hop scene, a lot of it. Not that I mean, I would go. You remember? I sent you the pictures, especially. I was seeing a porn star, and I see things. You know what I mean? I've seen things. And I'm not here to king shame people. I mean, but I mean, I've seen some stuff, dude. I mean, you know, uh, white people have freak offs. They're called swingers parties. I mean, it's especially like there's a huge swinger scene. I'm not here to king shame anybody, but like I said, in the hip hop scene, it just needs to be more accepted that people are gay, and that's all that's all it comes down to. And
let me just address this question. So Wana Love is saying, why does it matter? Why is it an issue? So Wana, the issue is that whole generations of young people have been manipulated by some rappers into the glamorization of drug dealing and violence and misogyny against women. Whole generations of young people have been indoctrinated into this by people who are con artists who are doing the complete opposite of what they are portraying.
Right.
People's sexuality does not matter.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
It is the mass manipulation of the public by sinister, evil people working for the club so that young people are out there committing crimes and filling the private prisons. And these guys are investing, like Blackwalk are investing in the rap, they're investing in the prisons, and they're making billions off it. And we're reporting on this to open people's eyes, to wake people up so they're not getting scammed by these predators and these monsters. That's why this matters. We are not knocking anyone's sexuality.
No, absolutely not. I mean,
go on.
Yeah, absolutely not. That's the thing. I mean, I am. I think I'm blessed in the fact that I play in both of these scenes, and I don't because I'm respectful of both of these scenes. But again, it is when it is when people, you notice that secrets keep you sick. I mean, that is a motto I firmly believe, and I think that the more that people become more accepting of this, the better it's going to be. 100%.
So, Diddy then?
Yeah.
Like you said, he was a regular.
Yeah, of course.
Did he bring other people that we don't know about with him?
I mean, the guy had an entourage. It's not like he didn't have an entourage. But again,
yeah,
it's hard to pinpoint it because he was also collaborating with some of these, DJs and being in the scene. Like, I'm going to put out a house track. But everybody knew. I mean, everybody knows. But and it shouldn't be a big deal. Is the point? You know what I mean? I mean going back to what I was saying about you, right? When we were first in the scene, right? And this is something that I don't think that your special touched on, right? I mean, do you really? I never see you talk about this. Do you enjoyed the music, right? I don't know if you. I mean, you enjoyed the scene, correct? And what was happening? Because I don't think that you would have gotten into it if you didn't enjoy, right? I mean, you saw the positive.
I still live for that music to this day. That's all I listen to.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Right. I mean,
We
yeah,
we go to festivals in Europe. When Jen was pregnant, we were
yeah.
in Holland, listening to German EDM. Baby Ziggy was inside getting his first beats.
Right. And like even in Germany, in Berghain, right? That is an open, like everyone knows that it is a gay sex bar that goes in, and what goes on in there, you're not allowed to, film or whatever, and things go on in there. I don't. That's not the problem. The problem is that when you're part of a scene and, like you said, a movement that's openly trashes homosexuality and trashes, women, and has this flaunty lifestyle, and and is, you see a lot of this stuff, no homo or whatever. Um, oh, there's Andrea.
Hey, Andrea.
Man, people really missed you, man. I mean, we had, I mean,
Did you watch the show on
yeah,
Max?
I did, and there's so much that I don't know, we can't talk about, or we can talk, I don't know, but there's so much that happened that, like, I mean, we got out by the skin of our teeth, man. I mean, I knock on wood. I managed to get, I mean, I got caught up too. I mean, I won't lie. I mean, I got caught up. I mean, there should be a show like a 6 Degrees of Sean or 6 Degrees of Sammy. Because I mean, there's people I run into. I talked to my friend Brooke, and she was saying, yo, I know someone who had dealings with him, and um, and we weren't careful. Like, we didn't know. Like, I mean, that there were, undercover cops among us, and we were just trying to, and um, but there was a lot of positivity that came from all that. That's what I don't think people understand. They're like, I mean, I really, I should have put money on your books, man. I really like. It's like, even,
Oh,
I
don't
mean,
sweat it.
no, but
So, so
it's very Christ-like. You, like, really suffered for the scene, man. You did 6 years, 6 years, so that some of us could have careers, and there could be. I mean, there's a rave scene in Arizona, not because it was just automatically happening, because, like, you did some serious time and helped flourish an amazing, like, even in all of the Southwest. I mean, it's incredible, and I don't think you get
I
enough credit for that.
Well, I had a lot of fun. I had to accept my karma cheerfully.
Right?
So when I spoke to you, and
Yeah.
viewers, we are gonna get into some big name stories. So when I spoke to you,
Yeah.
you was telling me a lot about Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Let's set the table for that story, shall we?
2019, I was, and I think I sent you the picture of me and Jessica, right?
Yep.
Okay. We were frequenting some comedy clubs in that scene, and we had met this girl, and she had a boyfriend, and maybe a week after I met her, she ended up dead. And I think they're reopening the case now, but it's no coincidence that he left the country. Um, and I don't know if anybody's heard of the blind date murder. Did you pull that
Put
up?
a, one- yeah, put a one in the chat, folks, if you've heard of the blind date murder, where Kuchar shows up at the window and sees the blood but says it's wine.
Wine. Yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, wine. That's right. He said it was wine, and then he said, "Yeah, my um." And this is the thing. It's like, when you talk about Ashton Kutcher, which version of Kutcher are you talking about? Are we talking about Demi Moore Kutcher? Are we talking about Mia Kunis Kutcher? Are we talking? I mean, there are many chapters of that guy. Do you know what I mean? Like, like, are you talking about the Diddy white parties and Demi Moore, Kutcher? Are you talking about, Mia Kunis? Are you talking about him and Danny Masterson defending
Can
Danny?
you can you take us through the chapters slowly, Emile?
Yeah. Okay. So Danny Masterson, you know about that guy, right?
Oh yeah.
Well, I knew a girl that he had essayed, and he locked her up for a week in a cage. It was
What?
crazy. Yeah, it was crazy.
Danny Masterson locked her in a cage for a week.
Yeah, I should give you her number. She'd probably come on the show.
Oh my God.
I should give you her number. Yeah,
Holy.
and immediately after that, the Church of Scientology comes forward and offers her some money, and then they set up a defense for this guy. And Ashton Kutcher writes this long soliloquy about what a great guy he is and all this stuff, in court. Um, but back to that case, right? They never took his DNA. They're reopening the case now. Um,
Hold on a minute. You've jumped. You jumped. We're
yeah,
fascinated by the girl in the cage right now.
yeah.
How did you know this person?
Oh, I've known her for years. I've known her for years, years.
How did she end up in the mix with Masterson?
Um, Kind of through the hip hop scene and some people she had met while she was in LA, and I I said not to. I'm like, you don't want to be associated with this guy. Um, and she called me really upset, and she's like, you don't know what I've been through, whatever. And then I should give you her contact information. See, I mean, she'll give you a lot of details, a lot of details.
Was she
Yeah.
like seeing him? Is that how it came about? Or
Right, right. And then he just basically held her captive for about 2 weeks, and she finally broke away from him. And um but yeah, she said that Kutcher would come over, and it's like, I'm not saying guilty by association. I'm just saying, I mean, all these guys. I mean, when I DJed at the Viper Room, I mean, I saw a lot of stuff. I mean, it's like, I'm not, like I said, I don't. I'm just not down with, I mean, look, that's the other thing I was talking about, in the gay leather scene. There's a lot. There's stuff like S&M people are into, but that has to go with um your oh, you're so engaging. That's so funny. No, but there's a lot of stuff that goes on. I mean, that has to do with consent, and I don't think that she. But I will give you her contact information. I'm sure she'll come on the show. I
did
mean,
she say that? Did she say that while she was being held in the cage that anyone else came over, or did he do that solo?
she'd have to give you those details. But yeah, there was a lot of stuff that, I mean, she could give you a lot of details. I'll reach out to her. I mean,
Yeah, please do.
she's reluctant, but you know, uh, it's out. I mean, and Masterson's convicted. I mean, we already know all this stuff, right? But the fact that they're going to reopen this case, Kutcher left to Greece, and obviously he went to Greece because they have a non-extradition, right? So, you know, we'll see what
So,
comes of that.
so for the some of the viewers are not familiar with what happened with this killer and Coochie showing up at the window. Could you just
Yeah.
run that one down?
Again, the story makes. He said he saw some spilt wine. He was supposed to meet her for a blind date, and then the boyfriend said that they had slept together right before she went on a date with Ashton Kutcher. He uh, he came forward and said, "Look, he was scared because his DNA would be all over the place because he had interactions with her, and but they never took any DNA from that case. They never um, got any of the details. And yeah, Masterson, he was a Church of Scientology guy, and that's who came to his defense. I mean, this stuff's all.
So do you think they've gone overseas to avoid that, or to avoid Diddy, or to avoid both situations?
I mean, look, I'm gonna explain to you like this. Of the Epstein thing, right?
Yeah,
How many people went to the island?
a lot.
How many people were convicted?
None.
I mean, you've got flight records, phone records, and only Ghislaine and then Epstein. I mean, look, what I know from seeing adult actresses is that rich people don't